Hello, do you know which element rules your sign and why is it important? Astrology has been used for centuries as a tool to better understand ourselves and the world around us. In this video, we're going to look at each of the 4 elements and how they affect the characteristics of the astrological signs that fall under them. According to the Greek philosopher Aristotle's concept of matter that is incorporated into astrology, the 12 zodiac signs are divided into the 4 essential elements. The wheel of the zodiac always passes through fire, earth, air, and water, as everything begins as an inspiration in fire, which materializes in earth, spreads in air, and is diluted or adapted in water. Thus, each element responds to individual internal functions, and some may be more developed and visible than others. The 4 psychic functions are intuition, fire, sensation, earth, thinking, air, and feeling, water. But, rare are the people who can be called pure types, that is, who have only one predominant element in their astral map. Being, most of the people called of mixed type, that is, possess the combination of 2 strong elements. Through the analysis of the personal astral map, it is possible to verify which is the predominant element and, thus, better understand your temperament. Here at Forescat Zone we make astrological predictions for the 12 zodiac signs, based on and divided into the 4 elements. So wait for us to bring next month's prediction soon. For now, learn a little more about the relationship of the zodiac signs and the elements. The 4 elements, earth, air, fire, and water, are present in our lives in different ways. We walk on earth and draw our sustenance from it, while air brings us information through sound and speech, as well as invoking our intelligence. Our actions are governed by fire, which represents our will, initiative, and energy, and our emotions are awakened by water, the most fluid element. Since our conception, we have experimented with all these elements, from immersion in amniotic fluid, water, to the first breath of oxygen and sound emission, air. In another analogy, when we kiss someone, there is a certain chemistry involved. The physical contact of the lips, earth, the emotion that runs through the body, water, the thoughts that cross our mind, air, as well as desire, initiative, passion, and attraction, fire. Alchemists and astrologers have always sought to achieve the balance of the 4 elements in order to transmute the imperfect, normal, and mundane situations. Most substances or physical interactions are mixtures of multiple elements that dynamically interact with each other. For example, when a wood burns, it can contain fire, visible through the burning process, air, when it consumes the oxygen that feeds the flame, and when we hear the hiss of its burning, water, which will be removed in the process so that the wood turns to charcoal, and earth, the ash left behind when the wood is burned to the ground. Fire and water are the purest elements. Fire is lighter and goes up, while water naturally tends to go down. The elements are defined by 2 qualities out of a total of 4, forming the so-called elemental square. Elements that share one of their qualities are considered adjacent to each other, while those that are diagonal to each other in the square are considered opposites. The opposite qualities, hot and cold, wet and dry, try to move towards each other, but cannot do so directly. The rotation of the elements begins with the process of adaptation, water, continues with expansion, air, then production, fire, and finally contraction, earth. Alchemists used this model to change matter from one element to another. Elemental water cannot be turned into fire without first passing through air. This concept is reflected in many places in nature, such as the seasons, human life, and the journey of plants. In astrology, the 4 elements are divided into 2 parts, feminine yin, water and earth, and masculine yang, fire and air, reflecting the 2 greatest human archetypes, the feminine, tenderness, introspection, fertility, and practicality, and the masculine, activity, expansion, energy, and communication. The elements also play an important role in astrology. Each zodiac sign is associated with an element, which helps define your characteristics and personality. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, are emotional and intuitive, while fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, are energetic and passionate. The air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, are communicative and intellectual, and the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, are practical and earthy. In addition, astrology also considers the presence and position of elements in individual birth charts, which can affect personality, emotions, and a person's life. For example, a person with many planets in fire signs may be more impulsive and emotional, while someone with many planets in air signs may be more mental and analytical. The fire element. In astrology, fire is associated with action, impetus, and creativity, and is the main element of the signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. He is considered hot and dry, representing expansion, heat, light, courage, and willingness to fight, dominate, and conquer. In addition, fire also favors spiritual elevation, extreme lucidity, and purification of the soul, being representative of the superconscious mind in human beings. The symbol for the fire element is a triangle pointing upwards, symbolizing the desire to climb because of its hot and dry qualities. Individuals with a high amount of fire in their birth chart tend to be more optimistic, idealistic, dynamic, passionate, enthusiastic, direct, spontaneous, naive, expansive, and inspired. They have more motivation, courage to stand up, take risks, and face challenges. Generally, these people demonstrate energy, determination, perseverance, and may like to command more than obey. However, this disposition can also bring more agitation and impulsiveness. When the fire is out of control, it can be very dangerous, as the other side of the energy tends to be somewhat tactless, overly ambitious, violent, angry, authoritarian, and aggressive, physically or verbally. These people can also be a little insensitive and indifferent, selfish and arrogant, and tend to hurt others when they are angry, although they usually don't hold grudges. In the old days, they were called people with choleric mood. The earth element. In astrology, earth is associated with substance and practicality, being the main element of the signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. He is considered cold and dry, representing stability, solidity, and giving substances their strength and form. In humans, it represents the physical body. The earth element symbol is a triangle pointing downwards with a line through it, representing that the earth is wet and seeks to descend, but its dry component blocks its full descent. Individuals with a high amount of earth in their birth chart tend to be more introspective, passive, and empathetic, as well as calmer, slower, and colder. They tend to be more resilient, strong-willed, and the element also lends more solidity, stability, persistence, and a concrete nature that can attract anxiety, pessimism, or extreme realism. In addition, earth is synonymous with sensuality, earthly pleasures, and material or sentimental security, with its characteristics: producing, maintaining, forming, build, establish, contain, and limit. Earth signs draw on their elemental trait in different ways. Taurus invests, enjoys, produces, and appropriates. Virgo works out. Capricorn manages, structures, plans, and governs. Formerly they were called people with melancholic mood. The air element. In astrology, air is responsible for the mental spectrum, intellect, communication, and exchange, being the driving force of the signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. He is considered hot and humid, being below fire, and above earth, being pervasive, diffused, and mobile. In humans, it represents the self-aware mind. Its symbol is an ascending triangle with a horizontal line through it, which represents your quest for ascension but being blocked by the wet component. The function of air is to stimulate reasoning and the exchange of information, acting as a social component. Air favors reason and logic over sensitivity or emotions. Air can show itself as a light breeze or a devastating hurricane, being the most difficult to predict its actions and possessing a tendency to instability and unpredictability. People with a strong element of air are always focused on improving proposals and ideas, bringing new concepts and favoring inventions. The water element. In astrology, water governs emotions, the subconscious mind, sensitivity, feelings, and underlines the signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. It is considered cold and wet, rising above earth but below air. Provides flexibility and nutrition of substances. Her symbol is a downward-pointing triangle, representing her desire to descend because of her cool and wet qualities. The strength of this element can make people more patient, compassionate, empathetic, secretive, imaginative, dreamy, selfless, artistically inclined, intuitive, emotional, and sensitive. Its elemental characteristics are humidifying, hydrating, purifying, refreshing, toning, cleansing, calming, protecting, and diluting. People with a lot of evidence of the water element tend to be more impressionable, emotional, and sensitive, as well as more adaptable to any environment. However, they may find it more difficult to adapt fully to the confines of the material world, and they may also be a little more lazy, irresolute, vulnerable, or hypersensitive. Water is yin in nature, directed downwards, so many people with a predominance of this element are prone to melancholy and can easily become depressed or discouraged. Emotions can give the impression of being always overflowing to the surface, although they can act in a little impulsive way, drowning in their own feelings. They tend to follow the desires of others over their own more easily. They always need to be in good tune with their existence, otherwise they can dive so deep that returning becomes difficult. Although astrological signs are influenced by the elements, it is important to remember that each person is unique and has their own personality and life experiences. Astrology can be a useful tool to better understand yourself and others, but it should not be used as an absolute determination of personality or behavior. We hope this video was helpful for you to better understand astrological signs and how they are influenced by the elements. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content about astrology and other interesting topics. Share this video with your friends who are also astrology fans. To the next.